And welcome back, everyone, to the Daily Aid. As you may have heard at the beginning of the show when we were talking to Miranda, I had never seen the show Hamilton before this past weekend, and now I kind of see the hype. But the hype has been building for the past 10 years since the show first debuted on Broadway. Well, now it's made its way to Grand Rapids. GR Broadway is proud to bring us this show over at DeVos Performance Hall. It is running now through the end of this week on Sunday. That is the last chance you get it. It also happens to kick off, or I should say end, the 2024-2025 season for Broadway GR. They are getting set for the upcoming season, so we'll be very excited to look forward to that string of shows. But with this last one, we decided to bring in our resident musical and show reporter Adriana Doria in to talk all about what to expect and give us behind the scenes look at what to expect when you do show up to a show. And tickets are still on sale. Let's see what Adriana had to say about this. Adriana Doria joining us now for another look at an awesome show, part of Broadway Grand Rapids. It is, of course, the cultural phenomenon that is Hamilton. It is in Grand Rapids now through August 3rd, so still plenty of time to get your seats and check it out, whether it's for the next time or for the first time. Adriana, thank you so much for stopping by today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Yes, this is the last show of this season for Broadway GR, so really exciting one. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, you know, and obviously with Hamilton, I touched on it. It's a cultural phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
They're celebrating 10 years since it was first out on Broadway and really just took the whole country by storm. So I've got to ask, before you kind of went into this Grand Rapids version for a story, I mean, had you seen this show before? I know how much you love Broadway.
Yes, I can still remember listening to the soundtrack when it first came out, just thinking like, this is just so different than anything I had ever heard. And I don't even remember 10 years ago, how old was I? I was 14.
Yeah.
So yeah, to think that it's celebrating 10 years is crazy. But yes, I had seen it. I don't remember exactly when, but I saw it in Chicago, because right after it opened in New York, it did that for a couple of years. And then before I think it started touring, it had like a second production in Chicago. So a lot of people, even at DeVos yesterday, were saying, yeah, I saw it in Chicago. I feel like that was the common thing for Michiganders who didn't, necessarily want to go all the way to New York, and it was sold out for like ever.
Right, if they could even find tickets.
You couldn't even find tickets. So the Chicago was kind of the next best option. I remember just being blown away seeing it then. I was blown away last night. It was cool to see it like so many years later, because there's a lot of things I didn't remember. I mean, obviously I know the music, but so many like little, things that come out, and when you see shows multiple times, you notice different things. And also I'm older now, so I appreciated different things that I might not have appreciated when I was younger. So yeah, it was so good. Highly recommend everyone go see it.
Yeah, even if they have seen it before, you would probably say the same thing. You're going to see maybe something a little bit new, or maybe take something away from this show if you see it again.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you like movies too. Like when you watch things more than once, you're like, oh, I never noticed that the first time.
Right.
So yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm just talking with people at DeVos. They were like, I've never seen it. What can I expect? Or I've seen it 5 times, which is crazy that someone's seen it 5 times for how popular it was and how hard it was to get tickets. But yeah, I mean, it's something different every time. And I think when you see different casts, they all have different takes on it. So it was really cool to see this cast. They're really cohesive and had, different approaches to their characters that, the original and the soundtrack doesn't necessarily have. So, yeah.
Right. No. And again, the cultural phenomenon aspect to this, because again, I personally, and I'm telling on myself right now, I've never seen it. I've heard some of the music before. I've listened to the soundtrack before. I understand how popular it is. And, it's even on Disney Plus. Maybe I do maybe check it out.
Watch it
if I don't want to pay for another ticket or something like that. But again, I mean, everybody has at least heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
What is it about this show, now that you've seen it multiple times, I mean, what is it about this show, do you think, that has just captivated its audience and just makes people, again, like you said, maybe even seeing it 5+ times?
Yeah, it's so, and even just talking with the cast members yesterday, it's so unique, which is why I think part of why it's lasted so long and it's so popular. But it also, people think, I don't really want to see a show about history, right? Like that's going to be boring, whatever. But this is such a unique take on that, and it's taking things from hundreds of years ago and making them relevant today and present through rap music. Like, when have we ever seen rap music in a Broadway show, not very often. And it has all sorts of different genres. It's also sung entirely through. And it has so many different, elements that I think still last today. But it also, when you talk history, you think, without getting too political, you think politics, right? A lot of these things that we've seen in history are kind of resurfacing. And it's like, oh, that was happening then too? Like, It's weird. And and a lot of the cast members I was talking to say, they've been in it for multiple years, so you've seen so many different things happen in the country that every show has like a different meaning depending on what's going on, right? So, I think that's why it has lasted this long, and it's resonated with so many people because it has so many different themes that I think somebody can connect to, and it's not just history, right? Like, it has a love story in it, and it has, succeeding and, coming from down under and making it big. So it's got a lot of those themes I think everybody likes.
And I do remember when it first came out in particular that people always talked about just how the sets looked and the costumes and everything like that. And I'm sure on a Broadway production, probably a little bit higher quality. But from what you could tell being on stage and talking to some of the cast members, I mean, that same look to the whole play still kind of holding up here.
It looks the exact same as if you see videos from New York with, the original cast. All the costumes are still pretty much the same, I think. I mean, obviously, I don't know, but they look the same. The set is outstanding. There are even, I think what's super interesting, which we've seen in shows before, but there are a lot of the cast members play multiple roles. So that obviously you need to have very distinct costumes to be able to tell the difference of who they're playing. So that obviously plays a role here, which adds to this how unique it is, and how genius really it is, because you have people playing multiple roles and you don't notice, right? You're like, is that the same guy? Like, yeah. So the costumes are just out of this world. So.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely something for people to also look out for. And one other thing they should be looking out for is the fact that there is a Michigan native that is part of the ensemble. You got to talk with them yesterday, kind of leading up to that first performance. I mean, what was that sort of like? Just seeing that they were back here in Michigan performing for their state.
Yes, Paul Louis Lassard. He plays King George, which is one of the like really interesting characters of the show. Wouldn't say it's like this huge always on stage, but when he is on stage he commands it, right? I mean, he's the comedic relief element of the show. But it was super cool talking with him. I feel like every time I've seen a Broadway tour, there's always a Michigan grad. There usually is. They're popular. So he went to University of Michigan, was born in Okemos, and this is his first, or I think he said his first time performing in Grand Rapids. His family here, which is nice. He's performed in Detroit before with a different tour, but he said, being able to perform home is nice because you have people that you're familiar with in the audience, so you can see a familiar face. You have family, college friends, professors, teachers, all of those people kind of coming out to see you. So it makes those performances a little extra special.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for everybody wanting to know a little bit more behind the scenes look at this production of Hamilton, Adriana has an incredible story that you can find right now over on our website, woodtv.com. And again, this is the sort of kickoff, or really the end kickoff. I don't know if that works in the same way, but it is sort of the end. The culmination. There you go. Of the 2024-2025 season for Broadway GR. I mean, this was probably the perfect way. They could probably not have picked a better show to really end the season on, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, how can you can start, end, anything. Anytime you have Hamilton, I feel like it's just going to be outstanding. But to end on it, really, because there's going to be a little bit of a break. I don't remember exactly when, but I know it's like September, October-ish is when the next show comes to Grand Rapids to kick off the 2025 season. Yes. But yeah, so we've got a little bit of a break. So for people who really needed to end on a bang with their theater and their shows in their veins, this was the way to do it. So, and I could not be more happy with the end result.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Adriana, like how we've done them in the past, we have to get your final rating on this. I mean, that favorite moment, that standout moment to you, I mean, really just how would you get people to show up to this show?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think
you're an expert here. You got to give out the persuasion a bit.
I would say this one was a solid 10 out of 10, which I knew going in was probably going to be a 10 out of 10. But it's so hard to like describe unless you've seen it, why it's just so good. You just have to watch it on Disney Plus. You got to see it in person. I think there's still tickets in for Javos, but it's just so good. It comes full circle. It will make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It'll make you smile. It'll make you really think. and kind of want to analyze. And there's so many little elements that like come about that you can look at and be like, oh, I didn't, that's so interesting, or oh, that was in the beginning and now it's back. And so there's just, and I mean, look at these pictures. I mean, come on, like look at that set, look at the costumes. Again, like they take these really old outfits that people used to wear and still make them kind of modern and glamorous for a Broadway stage. So it's super fast paced, and like Paul Louis Lessard said, no pun intended, it really is nonstop. So I'm taking that quote from him, but it really is nonstop, like the song says. So yeah, and the music is just, I mean, you'll be singing. I'm still listening to it. So yeah, it's so good. I could go on and on.
Right. Well, I don't know if you've changed anybody else's mind about singing, but you've definitely changed my mind, because
good.
I definitely want to check it out now, more so than I have in the past. And again, Hamilton is playing at the DeVos Performance Hall from now through August 3rd. So if you do want to go ahead and grab those tickets, or again, check out some behind the scenes looks and learn a little bit more about the cast, you can find all of that information right now inside Adriana's story over on woodtv.com. Adriana, thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks.
And great stuff from Adriana as always. We appreciate the time. And this is your reminder, everybody, that if you would like to see a little bit more behind the scenes look at Hamilton, well, Adriana has a full story that you can check out right now over on our website, woodtv.com. And you will also be able to find a link to possibly grabbing some tickets while you still can to any of the shows. Again, the final performance here in Grand Rapids for Hamilton will be held this coming Sunday.